Let's pay homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming, to Master Sakya Zhengkong, homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and homage to Master Dukten Dorji, homage to the three jewels of the altar, and homage to the main deity of Homa today, Mahapratisara Bodhisattva. Om Maha Purati Salo Soha. Simu Duten Siti Rinpoche, all Dhamma masters, Dhamma educators, Dhamma teachers, Dhamma lecturers, Dhamma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples present here and over the internet. And our participating VIPs today are the Director of the Finance Department of Nantou County, Ms. Li Liangzhu, and the former mayor of Zhanghua, and now he is the head of the committee of the DPP party of Zhanghua County, Mr. Chiu Jianfu, and the party secretary of the DPP party Zhanghua County, Mr. Huang, and the party secretary of the KMT party of Nantou County, Ms. Xu, and the council from Tainan City, Mr. Cai Wangquan, and the academician from Academia Sinica, Professor Zhu Ziyi and Mrs. Zhu, and the former Chief Secretary of the Taiwan government, Mr. Zheng Peifu, Law Advisor to the Trubida Foundation, Mr. Lu Wenxiang, and Trubida School Scholar Groups and Medical Group members, and the President of the Taiwan Tourism Association, Ms. Wu Min, and she's also a well-known entertainer, and the director of the Lugang Early Hotel, Ms. Lin Meizhen, and the CEO of Long-Term Care Center for the Elderly, Ms. Gao, and from Malaysia, MSN Association Aviation, the Executive Chairman, Mr. Wu, and the General Manager, Ms. Zhou. And the wood sculptor, Mr. Jian.
My university same classmate 朱金水先生及夫人陈哲霞女士。
Mr. and Mrs. Zhu Jinshui, the president of the Worldwide Lotus Light Charity Society, and also the producer for the Great Perfection Dharma Lamdre and Sutta Perfect Enlightenment, Master Lian Yue, and the hosts, Master Lian Hai and Dharma Sister Pijun.
My sister Lu Shengmei 女士
Miss Lu Shengmei,
My sister Lu Guoying 女士
Miss Lu Guoying and her husband.
中天电视台给你点上心灯节目制作
And
人
the producers for the Illuminating Your Heart of CTI TV Taiwan, Miss Rebecca Xiaqi.
感谢香港
and gratitude to Mr. Lin Jianchen from Hong Kong for their donation of 200,000 NT dollars. And to Lin Yongfa from Singapore for their donation of 100,000 NT dollars. And for the Hua-San Auction Center of Taipei, Dharma Brother Ma Sun Zong for their donation of 100,000 NT dollars. Good afternoon, everyone. How do you do?
大家好。你好，大家好。Selamat siang. Selamat petang. Sawadika. Kamsahamnida. Domo. Konnichiwa. Good afternoon. Cảm ơn. Merci beaucoup. Hoje, saúde. Hola, amigo. Te quiero mucho. 아이스테르 사랑해. Hola amigo, que quiero mucho. すごい一番気持ちいい。大家新年好 ，Happy New Year。今天呢，我们是做这个大水球菩萨的。
So today, we perform Mahapratisara Bodhisattva Homa fire offering ceremony, and this deity is extremely extraordinary, very special. It's the same as the
水球菩萨哈，水球菩萨，大水球菩萨。
The Amoghapasa Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. So his Vajra name is the wish granting Vajra. She's very special. And her seed syllable is pra. And the mantra
Mahaprati Salo Soha. Om Maha 就是大 Prati
Maha means great, and Prati means wish granting, and Sara means Sattva or Bodhisattva. So, of the universe, the great wish fulfilling Bodhisattva, and that will wishes all you fulfill, Soha. And her appearance, she's wearing a jeweled crown and fearless, and with 8 arms, and the body is dark yellow, and her top left hand holds a lotus. On top of the lotus, a flaming golden wheel, Dharma wheel. And the other left hands are holding a scripture, a banner, and a lasso. And the top right hand is holding the 5-pronged scepter, and the second right hand is holding a halberd, a sword, and lastly a kartika. And she's sitting on the lotus throne. She has 8 arms. So this is the image of Mahapratisara, and you need to visualize her very attentively in great details. So with visualization, mantra and mudra, and she has 8 mudras, the Pratisara mudras. In the main practice of Tantrayana, we always visualize first and then recite the mantra. Most of them are like that. Visualization first and then mantra. Before visualization or in the middle of the visualization, you have to form the 8 mudras of Pratisara. So this is very special, very unique. Most deities, you only need to form 1 mudra, but she has 8 Pratisara mudras. Let me form them for you. Those were 8 mudras, a total of 8 mudras. And of these 8 mudras, the first one is very similar to Mahapani, Vajrapani. And the second mudra is very close, very similar to Kalachakras. The third mudra is very similar to Yamantaka's mudra. The fourth mudra is very similar to Ushina Vijaya's mudra. The fifth mudra is the outer 5-pronged scepter mudra. This is the 5-pronged scepter. That was the 5th one. And then the 6th mudra is the single-pronged mudra, or the 1-pronged mudra. And then the 7th mudra is very similar to Akasagarbha's mudra. And the 8th mudra is the mudra for Prajnaparamita Buddha Mother. And her most important mudra, or the overall mudra, is the Prajnaparamita Buddha Mother's mudra. So you form all the 8 mudras, and then forming the last, which is Mahaprajnaparamita mudra, you visualize Mahapratisara, and after you visualize her clearly, you recite her mantra. That's the main part of the practice. In tantric practices, there's the beginning part of the practice, the main part of the practice, and the ending part of the practice. In the beginning part of the practice, typically great homage, mandala offering, fourfold refuge, four immeasurables, repentance, armor protection, and then we enter into the main part of the practice. First, you form the 8 mudras or pratisara, and then you form the main mudra, and then you visualize Mahapratisara and enter into samadhi. And the ending part is you recite the praise for Mahapratisara and you perform merit dedication, homage, and then you exit from your altar. So in our deity yoga or deity practices, that's how we do it. How do we gain spiritual union with Mahapratisara? That you should be mindful of Mahapratisara. And the mantra. The mantra. And the mudra. So the posture of your body is that of Mahapratisaras. So the most important thing about spiritual union is that your mind is the same as the mind of the deity. And your posture is the same as that of the deity. And you is the same as the deity's mantra. And at any moment, you maintain your mind, your mudra, and your mouth is reciting the mantra of the deity. So that is the same as the deities. So that means your body, speech, and mind is the same as that of the deities. When you visualize, she's facing you, in front of you, above you. You visualize her there. And lastly, she would merge into your body. And you become exactly like her, like the deity. Or you reside inside the deity's body. And this is called I enter and enter me. And the key formula is you place the Om at your brow point, Ah at your throat chakra, and Hum at your heart chakra. In the split of a moment, from outside the body becoming the self body, so your body becomes the body of the deity. That's the concept in Tantrayana. That the Buddha nature inside your heart chakra is your yidam, or your main deity. So if the Buddha nature inside your heart is the deity, then your body is also the deity. And you enter into the deity in the space, and the deity enters into you. And with the merging of these three, that's called the spiritual union or yogic response. But this will take a long time to train, to practice. It will take very, very long time. A very long time. And you practice step by step until you're in spiritual union with the deity. That's the spiritual union of the development stages. or the yogic response. And for the completion stage, the yogic response requires you to practice the vital energy or prana, channels or nadi, and light drops or bindu, so that the qi can fill your whole body, and then it can concentrate on the central channels, so that the light drops can descend and lift it up, and descend and lift it up. And when the light drops descend, there would be bliss, supreme bliss, the most superior bliss, and the innate bliss. And the gathering of light drops also bliss, superior bliss, supreme bliss, and innate bliss. And then the secret gathering, also the four emptiness, supreme emptiness, extreme emptiness, and complete emptiness. So today at the Mahapratisara's Homa, when we recite Namo Gurube, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya, that she descended already during that time when we chanted, when we recited the fourfold refuge mantra. So when you are in yogic union or spiritual union with one deity, then you will be in yogic union with all the deities, because they came from, because they are manifested from your Buddha nature. So we just make it concrete and with forms. So the main deities or yidams have manifestations of form and appearance, so that we can visualize. If I ask you to visualize emptiness, you don't know how. You don't know what does it look like, the emptiness. Like Allah in the Muslim religion has no form. You go to the mosque and you want to see the form of Allah. There's none. So actually, Buddha nature also has no form. However, it needs to be trained from appearance until you recognize the emptiness. So in Tantrayana, you start with form and mantra to chant and mudra to form, so that you become like the deity. So you cultivate spiritually from existence to non-existence. Once you gain spiritual union, then you would be in spiritual union with all deities. And if at that time you start practicing the qi channels and light drops, then you would receive tremendous blessings from the deities. Then it would be fast to have attainments in that practice. So those are the key formulas. So actually, Mahapratisara is an animation of skillful means and wisdom. You can pray to her. If you want enrichment, you want wealth and riches, then you wear yellow. If you want to have love, respect, harmony, marriage, good interpersonal relationships, then you should wear red. If you want the eradication of your sicknesses or the eradication of your karma, then you should wear white. If someone casts you a spell or you don't feel well, you want to eradicate your sicknesses, you can wear white, or for subjugation, you should wear blue. So you can wear any of these 4 colors. In our spiritual cultivation, ultimately, we have nothing to ask. When you reach the highest realm, there's nothing to ask. You have no expectation. That would be the best, the most perfect, the most wishful feeling, because you have nothing to ask. However, for worldly issues, you have to ask. So the bodhisattvas are employing the skillful means so that you can pray to her. So that's her compassion and skillful means. So for the empowerment today, as you pass by the empowerment banner, you can pray for what you ask for. You can say it out loud, what you wish for, to her. Because she has descended, the deity has descended. So that in this Mahapratisara's fire offering ceremony, she would be able to utilize her light to eradicate your karma, to increase your merits and good fortune, to increase your wisdom, to eradicate your sicknesses, and to make your enemies and your enmities vanish. You can say it silently, or you can say it loudly, but please don't be too loud, like the thunder. Just say it softly or silently, that during this ceremony today, we pray to Mahapratisara Bodhisattva so that all the wishes of this grand participants would be fulfilled.
刚刚我做这个法不容易修的地方，在随求八印。
The difficult part of this Dhamma practice is in the Pratisara's 8 mudras. But is this deity on the Dhamma Laksana? There should be. And it should include the 8 mudras. And you can learn them all and memorize them. And you can make her the deity that you ask for whenever you have something to ask. Now we will continue to talk about Lamdre. This is very simple. The nature of the visualization of the 4 blisses. It's called bliss when the blissfulness is small, superior bliss when the blissfulness is great, and abandoned bliss is when the blissfulness is indistinguishable. So that's the bliss that's greater than the superior bliss. And innate bliss is when there is no difference between blissfulness and emptiness, when there is no difference between the two. When you lift the light drops going up, then there would be bliss, great bliss, extreme bliss, and everything is empty. So from the secret chakra to the navel chakra is bliss. From navel chakra to the heart chakra is the great bliss. From the heart chakra to the throat chakra is extreme bliss. And from the throat chakra to the brow chakra is that everything is emptiness. I mean emptiness, superior emptiness, extreme emptiness. So when it descends, it's bliss. When it ascends, it's emptiness. Everybody said they are very happy. And Grandmaster also says he's happy. So show me your happiness. Where? But the nature of happiness is emptiness. So happiness comes from emptiness. That happiness and emptiness are the same. So the key meaning is that, and in our Dharma practice, it's not just in dual execution. I mean, our practice does not always involve a consort practice, but it can also be done in a single body. And I have taught you how to do that in a single body, and it's available in the tbboye.org. In Taoism, it's called the single sword practice. And as written in the Hevajra Tantra, bliss is when the bliss is small, superior bliss is when the bliss is great, abandoned bliss is when one has abandoned the desire for bliss, and the innate bliss is the utmost. So those are the 4 kinds of bliss as mentioned in the Hevajra Tantra. And the goal of the school is to obtain the minuscule bliss and empty nature, the way to nirvana, etc., and following the realized bliss and empty nature. In summary, the power of scrupulous practice of bliss and emptiness can ultimately reach the 11th and 12th ground on the enlightenment path. So by the power of the sensation of bliss and emptiness, and you practice continually until you reach the 11th and 12th ground of spiritual cultivation path. And moment of death, it's very important. When one has not achieved the ultimate goal, at their moment of death, they will become the descent of Vajrasattva. Using the vital energy of death to turn around the karmic energy, where all channels inside the body deteriorate and the ambrosia relight by the heart gradually gathers at one place, which slightly enters into the central channel, and its climax will produce the most supreme bliss and emptiness. And this is referred as Vajrasattva. Vajra means emptiness and Sattva means bliss. So this explanation should be very clear.
这个讲解是非常清楚，他在道果里面所说的。
The top part of the central channel. In Lamdre, it was mentioned, when you gather the light drops at the crown chakra, when you focus all the Buddha nature of the body at the crown chakra, and by receiving the blessings of the Yidam, Vajrasattva, who's the founder of Tantrayana, the patriarch, the Dharma prince of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas, Vairocana Buddha, Amitabha Buddha, Ratnasambhava Buddha, Akshobha Buddha, Amoghasiddhi Buddha. Their Dharma prince is Vajrasattva. If Vajrasattva congeal here, and the Vajrasattva in the space come and guide you through your crown chakra and to guide your Buddha nature, that is the key point of attaining Buddhahood at the moment of death, is when you can gather and concentrate the power of all your body at the crown chakra. And by opening your apex, the tip of your crown, and you can concentrate your Buddha nature, then you would have attainment. So what's written here is very secretive. Of course, I was also talking about the fruition, which is the Dharmakaya, the Dharma body, which will be described further at the fruit section. And this is the end of the 5 Dharma of the wisdom empowerments. So the fruition is you would be able to attain Dharmakaya, to be the Dharmakaya Buddha. Now you are having physical body, which is Nirmala Kaya. Once you have attained the Sambhoga Kaya, which is the light body, and lastly is the Dharma Kaya or Dharma body. So this fruition, which is the Dharmakaya, will be described later, not now. The above is the Dharma of the wisdom empowerments. Now it's 5:56. So in 4 minutes it will be dinner time. But that would be impossible. But you can eat faster today. A classmate has an infection on the gum and went to see the dentist, and the dentist suggested for surgery. And the classmate said, "Never had surgery before, I'm very anxious." And the doctor said, "Don't worry, because it's my first time too." So at this time the nurse came by, and should we inject the Novocaine inside the mouth or outside the mouth? Maybe on his leg, so that he cannot run away. So in our tantric studies, we have to focus on the key points. And you need to understand the real key points, the key formulas, the pith instructions, and to remember them very clearly and carefully. That's the most important. This joke, the tiger is getting married, and all the animals attending his wedding party, and in their good wishes they maintain a safe distance. But there was a cat that was fearless and moving very freely toward the tiger and sending him the good wishes. And the tiger was angry. Everybody's keeping the distance. How come you don't? And the cat replied, "Because before my marriage, I was a tiger too." How come the tiger became a cat? That's because of marriage. It's very complicated here. It involves sweetness, sourness, bitterness, and saltiness. And the key point, because you did not have attainments in your tantric practices, you did not have attainments in your development stages and in your non-leaking practice. So that's why the tiger became a cat. Although Grandmaster did get married before, and after being ordained to become a monk, Simu became my attendant. But Grandmaster is still a tiger. But the scariest part is Simu is the female tiger. So in one mountain, we cannot have 2 tigers. But I'm not a cat. Please pay attention here. How come the tiger became a cat? So you have to watch, and you stay a tiger forever if you practice the non-leaking Dharma practice successfully. And the daughter went to college, and soon she wrote a letter asking for money. And the reason is because she's been dating her boyfriend and has worn all her clothes, and the suggestion of her mom is to find a new boyfriend instead. In our tantric practices, tantric studies, as they said in the ancient time, poor, poverty in Zen practices, and wealthiness in the tantric practices. So if you practice Zen Buddhism, typically you're very poor. But if you practice tantric, then you become very rich. I mean, there are many wealth deity practices like Mahapratisara Bodhisattva. She's also holding a hook, like a hook of the Manohara, the wealth-attracting goddess. We have a Dharma sister in Thailand, and every day she would play the 4-number lottery, and she used the hook of Manohara. Hazya, Hazya, Ingusa, Ingusa. And she would hook from the sky. And then she would go buy the lottery with 4 numbers. In Thailand, they have that. Those who have been there, you know that. Sawadika. You were in Thailand for a long time. So she just bought the 4-number lottery, and she always won every period continually for 3 years. Do you know Dharma Sister In? Yes. And she won continually for 3 years. And she came here attending the ceremony here at the Taiwan temple and asked her, "Are you still winning the lotteries?" "Yes, every time." That's incredible. Continually for 3 years. She doesn't have to do anything. She was just relying on Manohara. So if you practice tantric Dharma, then you would get rich. You can get rich. There are many, many wealth deities. And our True Buddha school is the school of winning lotteries. We have so many people winning lotteries. You know, Xinlong. He's also True Buddha disciple. And you know that time when they have $3 billion prize, it was won by 4 people, and one of them was True Buddha school disciple. And Xinlong too was a True Buddha disciple. And then Lien Hua So Mai also won the first prize of megabucks. And then someone 160 million US dollars in America. One time I was there, and someone had a box and just threw it to me, and I was thinking, oh no, is somebody like throwing a shoe to the ex-president Ma of Taiwan. And he just told me really quickly that I won the lottery and just threw that package. And he didn't want anybody to notice him. And when I opened it, they're all green. No, it's not green. Green is like DPP. Is it green? The bills? The $1,000 bill is blue. So it's KMT parties, not DPP parties, which is green. It's $1,000 bill, a whole box of it, the blue one. See, I don't win lotteries myself, but people offered to me, so that's quite incredible already. And then the Taiwan Temple also was very fortunate. Someone wired $3 million to Taiwan Temple and did not let them know. It was anonymous. And when I give blessings on the head, someone told me too, Grandmaster, thank you. Thank you for what? I won the lottery prizes. What? Winning the lottery? And you just say thank you and no gesture? Recently, someone won that too. You know, so let me tell you, when you win the lotteries, don't tell everybody. Just tell Grandmaster. And Grandmaster would say, voluntary. And the one who won the lottery in Singapore, he made it known. He won $200 million, NT dollars. He was from Brunei and bought the lottery in Singapore and won the equivalent of 200 million NT dollars. And he offered to me a stack of it. And there was a master who heard it. And then there were several of them went to Brunei. And he gave the masters more than he gave me. So please don't tell them when you win the lotteries. Please don't make it known. Because True School is a school for winning lotteries. The grandpa at his 100th birthday party was, and the visitors were very curious. You're still very healthy, and you can read, you can see and hear so clearly. What's the secret? When you and your grandmother were getting married, and we had a pact that said is that whenever we have an argument, that the one who loses would walk outside in the fresh air. That's why he lived to be 100 years old. So if you lose your temper, then you would not live a long time, because when you go outside, then you have to breathe in PM 2.5. There's no fresh air here in Taiwan. If you want fresh air, please come to Seattle. Please go to Seattle. You know, there's no pollution in the Seattle air, but there's no fresh air in Taiwan, especially the middle part, the central part, and the southern part of Taiwan. It's really severe. It's better in Seattle, the air. But Taiwanese are really good. And the people from Southeast Asia are also very good. And most of my disciples are in Southeast Asia. Actually, America, Canada, Europe, Mexico, South America, North America, Europe, Africa, and also Southeast Asia or the Far East, so all over Asia, there are many disciples. However, the people from the hot countries like Southeast Asia are more warm-hearted. I'm really afraid to hear this song that like today during the book signing, it was sung by Dharma Sister Rowan. The fish is swimming here and there. But for you, I'm missing you, thinking of you here and there. And just want to be with you. Was that the meaning of that song? Where is my sister Rowan? Amanda? Right there. In the front, at the back. So she sang that song and I was very moved. So, swimming back and forth, thinking of you all the time. So I am very moved because fellow disciples are always so warm-hearted. There three people went to buy breakfast, and one said, I want a steamed egg without egg white. And the second one said, I want a steamed egg without the egg white. Okay, and the seller made it. And the third one said, how about you? What is it that you don't want in your egg? And the third person said, he's scared and said, I don't want the eggshell. So let me tell you, in your Dharma practice, the most important thing is whatever you need, then you practice it. So whichever yidam you need, then you practice it. Grandmaster has gained spiritual union with Golden Mother, Amitabha Buddha, Siddhikarma Bodhisattva. Those were my three key yidams. The three main deities. Once you gain spiritual union with these three yidams, then you would be in union with the 5 Dhyani Buddhas and all the sages, the golden sages. And you can even go to the netherworld to salvage sentient beings there. I hope that all of you would have such attainment too. That in the future, each one of you, after you have attainment, if you can have the attainment, then you would become the future lineage root guru of Mani Padme Hum.